and gentlemen, welcome to another Creative Hustle podcast show. And today I have a very vulnerable person who knows too much about me. And I know I'm saying it's deep for me, but I think like for the sake of transparency, I need to be honest with you guys, and being people I'm honest with and in line with alignment with. Her name is Phoebe. She's all the way from the beautiful country of Nigeria. Is it Nigeria? Ghana? Are you from Ghana? For real? You look Nigerian. Yeah. For real. You could have get passport in Nigeria, easy. Like you don't even know. You just pass to Lagos.
I am a Ghana girl. Okay.
You see, Ghana and Nigeria have a hate-love relationship.
I'm glad you're mentioning that.
And say, I'm trying to fix your sibling rivalry today.
Come correct, huh?
Okay.
I'm from Ghana.
Let me introduce again. Madam Phoebe. Therapist, community leader, mother, like so many things to the hats that she wears, and I want her to introduce herself to you guys so you guys can understand what exactly she does and what she does for the community. Introduce yourself.
Okay. It's good to see you as always.
Good to see you as always. Baby, what you? Tell the people.
Okay. Oh gosh, it's a very loaded question, really, to think about. So my name is Phebe Brako-Owusu, she, her, and I'm the founder and CEO of 253 Therapy and Consult and Medina Consulting LLC, which is my newest business venture. I am, like you said, a mom. I'm a mom to 3 kids, all under the age of 6 boys. Oh, boys, yeah. And so I am also a doctoral student. I'm working on my PhD, hoping to be done by next year around this time, right? Yeah. I'm also a board member for the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network. And like you said, a community leader. I wear a lot of different hats. So, I'll just kind of stop there because if you give me a chance, I'll keep
go. Let's go slow. Phoebe. A therapist in Washington. Let's take it back a little bit before I ask you the hard questions.
Right.
So when did you move to America?
I moved to America in 2007.
2007?
Yeah.
That's around me because I moved to America in 2008. I like that.
Yeah,
almost there. Yeah. Was Seattle your first stop?
No. So
first?
My first stop was North Carolina. So I went to school.
It's cold over there.
You know what? It's not that bad.
It's really snowy.
No. So I lived on like the I guess maybe like middle to southern end of North Carolina. So it wasn't too bad. It really wasn't bad. Now where I moved to after North Carolina, that's where it was cold and the snow was. I moved to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I lived outside of Pittsburgh, and so it was very snowy. And it was cold, and I hated it. You couldn't pay me to move back to Pennsylvania.
When you moved in, do you move in like a lot of people I have on the podcast? I like to move in when you were 8, 9. Or do you move in high school or college?
College. Yeah, so I came here for college.
So me too. F1 series, all that stuff. Did you come in F1 series? I know what I'm saying, man. I love it. Yes. And did you always want to be in the medical field? Because I came in trying to be in the medical field. I wanted to be a dentist. I was in the pre-medicine program. Yeah. But I realized later that American medicine is not African medicine. It doesn't cover. So that's your first major or what?
Yeah. So when I came, I was a biology major. But then I also had a psychology major. So there was a part of me that I always wanted to be in the medical field. That was a given. But there was a part of me that was, still holding on to this hope of being a therapist, right? Because in high school and even before high school, I was a person that everybody talked to about like their problems, like things like that. Like people tell me that I have a come talk to me face, right? And so
come talk to me,
right? So no, seriously. Like I'll be in the store and somebody would just come up to me and just start talking, and then like I'm just stuck there with my cabbage in my hand, and I'm just like standing there just listening to people, and so I knew I wanted to do something.
You felt it, like it was there. Internal, yeah,
it was there. But I also didn't know how to tell my parents that I wanted to get into that because, like we brought you to America to become a gynecologist. So what is
all this
psychology thing like talking about?
Why are you reading people's mind? You which doctor?
Yeah. So So that was my path. I was going to go to medical school and then I was going to, be a successful gynecologist and then send home all the money.
You know how it is. Immigrant life. You know how it is. So when you began your journey into psychology, right? Which university was this? Which college?
I went to Salem College.
Salem College.
Salem. It was an all-women's college.
Okay, I went to this Butler College. It's cheaper to do community college. But I love it. But so during your process of like redirecting your goals to what you want to do, did you like it? Because I don't know if therapy like accepted you, embraced it arms. Do you mean a community? Do you have a mentor? How did you get there?
I can't say that I liked it. I felt destined to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And I also I was steered by one of my advisors.
Okay.
Because he was very open with me, and he told me, Phoebe, you suck at biology. Just straight up. And that's probably one of the best things that anybody has ever said to me.
Because it made you like...
it made me think, because he said, you're acing all of your psychology classes, right? And so why are you wasting your time in biology? I said, well, Dr. Ursoff, my dad is paying for me to go to college. And
so I have to go to college.
I have to go to college and do this thing. And he was like, no, I don't agree with you. I'm not going to sign off on this. I think I had sent him my major declaration or something, I don't know, some paperwork. He was like, I'm not going to do it. And so he didn't.
Yeah. And you pivoted.
Yes. Yes.
Immediately.
So
okay.
I felt a huge sense of relief. But at the same time, I was afraid, because then it felt like I was going to be a disappointment to my parents.
The African parents.
Yeah. I had to have a very difficult conversation with my father. And my mother, she was easy. My mom, but my dad, he was concerned about my career trajectory. And at that point, I think I had maybe like a couple of therapy sessions, and I didn't really like the therapist. Looking back, I didn't like the therapist, but I think I just kept going because I felt like I needed someone to talk to and to also like experience what it was like.
And release.
Yeah. And it ended up being fine. I don't think I saw her long term, but yeah, I remember just it felt like I could breathe again. And I realized that I wasn't working as hard in school as I had been before, because it just came to me. I just understood all the concepts. It was easy at that point. And so I ended up doing an internship at a private practice, a therapy practice. And one of the things that they asked me to do was to build a page that they were going to put on their website.
Of the college or of their business?
A page where they would direct people who wanted to become therapists to. So they wanted me to find different graduate schools that were in that general area and maybe like on the eastern part of the country, so that, people will call sometimes and say, hey, I want to be a therapist, I don't know where to start. Then they would direct them to that page. So it was like a resource page. So while I was doing the research for that resource page, I found my graduate school, and I saw that they didn't require the GRE, which a lot of schools usually require. And I was like, oh, let me apply then.
In there, right there. Take an opportunity.
Yeah. I was like, I'm here to do an internship and I'm getting something out of it. Why not? So,
why not?
Yeah. So that's how I ended up in graduate school, getting my master's in marriage and family therapy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again. I got my therapist here, Phoebe. I forced her to drive an hour to see me. Now I have to cook goat and jollof, something that okay. I gotta send it to her. Because it's a pleasure though, because when you have people in your life who have shaped you to be in the right mental space that you're in, you always have to bring him around so the world can see how much work, like you really did the work. That's why I'm here. I'm lying. That's why I do this podcast. So they can see I did the work though. She will call me out and tell me this podcast. But ladies and gentlemen, again, we're here with Phoebe. And I want to ask you some fun questions, right?
Yeah.
Before the tough one. Okay, so what are your top places to eat? 5 top places to eat in Seattle, like restaurants you like. You gotta tell people what you like.
Okay. I would say, what's in the Red Lounge, the Jamaican spot there?
The Red Lounge? Red Lounge restaurant?
Yeah, the Jamaican restaurant.
Red Lounge, yeah.
I think that's my top place.
You like plantains and stuff?
Yeah, the plantains, rice
oxtail.
and peas, oxtail.
Oh. Why do you not sell the ox though? Why you say only the tail? Why you don't ox necks, ox thighs, ox titties, ox back? Why is always ox tail?
Well, because we eat the rest of it and we just don't call it ox.
What do you call it? Steak?
Yeah.
I've never seen ox steak. It's cool though. It's good. All right. What else? Okay, we got red lodge here. We got red lodge. What else? What do we got? What do you got?
So I, I don't come and eat up in Seattle a lot, but
okay, in Tacoma.
But in a little south, or actually a little bit east in Bellevue, Novillo's Steakhouse. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. I love me some meat, and so that's a really nice place.
I like the veggies. They like saute them good. I like them. Yeah. Okay. What else? Verse 2.
Crab King down south.
Crab King.
Is it Crab King? Yeah. They have
Crab Pot or Crab King? Crab Pot.
No, Crab Pot is down here at the pier. I like them, but after I had the Crab Kings, I'm like, no, I don't.
What's the difference? The fish was not fishing.
Well, no, it's actually seasoned.
Oh.
There's like sauce with it, and it's like spicy, and oh my goodness.
Crab.
Yeah, crab. I think it's called Crab King.
Crab King. All right, well,
no, okay. Then there's another one actually. Crawfish Chef. That's another.
Crawfish.
One.
Is that one right here?
Yes, but they have one in Puyallup also.
Oh, nice.
So you can see, like I like Jamaican, I like seafood quite a bit. And also this is so unlikely, but Duke's Chowder House. That is
Duke's,
my favorite.
I go there sometimes.
I only go there for the chowder.
So chowder. I think the last time I went there was at the South Center. South Center Mall right there by Joey's.
Yes.
I like it. I go there sometimes. I like the calamari. With the bread thing. Okay, you have one more. What's it? Give us your last one now. All these are American. Okay.
I know about the Jamaican one. Yeah.
What is this one?
Bantaba.
Oh, Bantaba in Linwood. Oh, yeah.
I don't get to have it as much, but I really love their food.
Yeah, but it's good.
But my brother used to go up there quite a bit. I'm not going to tell you why. He went up there, but anytime he would go up there, I would ask him to bring me some. A really good friend of mine lives in Edgewood.
Oh, cool.
Is it Edgewood? Or
Edmonds. Edmonds. Yeah.
You can see like up north, y'all.
Why you? We're gonna bring you on a tour, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna invite Phoebe. You have 2 weeks to decide which African restaurant you want me to take you to, because I have seen this list, and this list does not have the continent on it apart from Bantaba.
Bantaba,
you get a day. You tell me Dubai, take me for lunch here. I'll take you.
We don't have.
There's Juba. There's Safari. There's.
Y'all really have a lot up here.
There's Rumbanos.
We don't have a whole lot.
There's Kezira.
We don't have anything.
No, I will make a date for you. You come eat with me. I'll take you properly. You tell me what you like. If you like lamb, if you like goat. Do you not even have camel?
Oh,
you don't play. Juba has camel every Friday. Only Friday. Limited edition. Like all the people in the north. Sis. I promise you, give me a date. I promise you, we go. You tell me if you like lamb, you like camel, you like lamb, you like goat, you like chicken, you like chicken-do. Chicken-do is Congolese, those small things. You're saying you like plantain.
Okay, now I'm getting hungry.
You get egusi. It's all right. I promise you. You give me a date. I'll give you on a food tour.
Listen, my mother's kitchen is also another. That's one of my favorite places.
Where is your mother's kitchen?
In my house.
Oh, she cooks?
My mother cooks.
That's how he lives. That's why you not send me the address, because you knew I like food. You did not send me the address.
She makes kinke. She makes rice balls. She actually made like peanut butter soup today, and I kind of skipped out on it. I think I'm gonna have it for dinner.
What kind of music do you like from Ghana? I like your highlight. I listened to highlight for my life because my dad used to be on highlight.
Yeah.
But what kind of music do you like from? Like, what do you tune on to? It doesn't have to be Afrobeat, but what do you decompress with?
I do Afrobeats quite a bit. But I also do a lot of gospel music. I think that's where I decompress.
Yeah.
And so the Bethel Revival Choir, the Soweto Gospel Choir. They came to Seattle a couple of years ago. I took my mom to see them. It was magical.
I see Black Mambazo. They're the ones who.
Oh yes. Yeah.
A Lady Black Mamba, and Lady Blacksmith. But I've not. The one that must be. Well, that few years ago was right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
They come here every year. The Blacksmith.
Well, Soweto, they come here for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I've seen them twice so far since they've been coming here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I listen to them quite a bit, and I also listen to. So I have ADHD. I've been diagnosed with ADHD.
Same
actually,
here.
Actually, like last year, and so I have to do things that help me focus. And so listening to my favorite playlist on Spotify is the Focus playlist because it's just instrumental, and so it helps me. It helps me stay focused for however long I need to stay focused, and so I really love that. But I love listening to music in languages that I don't even understand. That's my
same
favorite.
here. It gives me like a creative process.
Salty Soul is another like group.
I like Salty Soul. I'm doing a tour with them, by the way. I'm starting the end of the month. I'm doing with one of their band members called Savara. So like the 13, 14 states, Arizona.
Are you coming here?
Yeah. Neptune. You gotta come to the Neptune one. I'm hosting the Neptune one.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll come. You better give me VIP tickets.
You're my therapist. Without you, how would I perform? I'm a madman riding the street. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a beautiful experience, and it's been almost an hour and a half of talking to my therapist Phoebe, who's your therapist as well, about mental health, women empowerment, and so much more. But my last question, because it's personal to me.
Yeah.
How do therapists identify? How can they read the client? You guys call them clients?
Clients,
yeah. That this client is not manipulating me for their personal reasons. For example, in a domestic violence, in a spousal conflict, child, what they call it?
Child abuse?
Not child abuse. What do they call it when you give a baby to somebody? What's it called?
Adoption?
Not adoption.
Foster?
Visitation. All that for fathers. Like to get on the, you can see your kid on this stuff. How do you, are you able to read that this is a toxic parent and this is not a toxic parent? Because I've been in a situation where my therapist was against me, even though she knew I was being wrong. Because I was black and the mother of my child was white. And they were against me. They try to like force the papers to go to court against a black person. How can the black father who's listening to us, who has been in my position, trust a therapist to be also like you're able to delegate, like bro, I'm able to see both sides here. I know you came to me, but you are using me to hurt him. How do you guys do that?
That's a very good question. So personally, as a therapist, I don't take on cases like that.
Okay.
Right. I don't take on any cases that have like legal stuff going on because that's not where my training is. So there's actually therapists who are trained in high conflict issues, folks who are going through like divorce or separation. There's therapists who like they specify in that sort of thing. So they have the training to be able to read between the lines. Like there's therapists who they specialize in domestic violence, for example, right? So they know what to look for, right? And a lot of times what we look for is patterns, right? What are we observing? Because the reality of it is that whatever people come and show in session, there's a likelihood that they're doing it outside. And so if, for example, they are showing some kind of behavior where it's like, the math is not mathing. We have the intuition, right? We have the intuition to notice that this is not, something is not right here. Something is not adding up here.
Okay.
And a great therapist is going to name it, right? We will call out whatever it is that we're noticing. Like you're telling me that your partner says blah, 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 talks to you in this way. And I'm also realizing or noticing that this is the way that you also talk to them. Help me understand this here. There's some incongruence over here, right? And so we have the training to be able to notice whatever it is. And as a couples therapist, I tell my clients, I'm here for both of you, right? So I'm not here for one person or the other, right? And so we're trained to maintain some semblance. I use this word very loosely.
Semblance. What's semblance?
Some semblance of like neutrality. Now, neutrality is hard, right? Because sometimes we're human as therapists and we might find ourselves aligning a little bit more with one person than the other.
Because we relate.
And then that's where we're supposed to go into something called supervision, where we go talk and we consult with someone who has more experience than us, and we staff the case, right? And so the work that we're doing is not just us. We're still surrounded by, so like for me, I'm a supervisor here in Washington, right? And so I will have associates who come and work with me, and like we'll staff the case. Like, okay, Phoebe, if I'm starting to feel a little bit more for the man than the woman, and blah blah. And so we'll talk about that. Like, where is that coming from? And so those therapists are able to come back into the session and get back into that space of neutrality. And so a lot of times there's therapists who will say, I'm not getting involved in any legal stuff. I am not writing any reports. I am not doing blah, blah. So then they would refer you to somebody who does that.
Okay,
that kind of work. Because at the end of the day, people's lives are going to be impacted big time by whatever
your report or whatever.
Right, whatever the report is. And so that is why, courts will usually admit those kinds of reports only from people who are certified to do those kinds of things. They don't just take letters from just anybody, right? And as therapists, we also have the right to say, I'm not going to provide a report, right? People sometimes like lawyers, they try to bully us into that, but we have our own lawyers also, and so they will represent us and just let the other lawyer know we're not participating.
You're not participating in this one here.
No. But then I would say if there's a risk issue, right? That's where
danger,
things get a little different.
Yeah.
Like for example, all therapists, all counselors were mandated reporters, right? And so if there's some harm to children or harm to the elderly, we have to report things like that. But when it comes to domestic violence, it gets a little tricky. And there's a lot of therapists who actually will not see couples together if there's domestic violence. Right? They will see them. They'll see one person.
This is already conflict of interest already.
Yes. And so they'll see one person and then they'll transfer or refer the other person somewhere else. And there's also a number of therapists who will work with couples if there's domestic violence happening. That's not my niche.
That's
again.
yours. Yeah, it's you're trying to different things. Yeah. Now, 2 questions, and this is it. 1 question: why do people stay in toxic relationships? And the last question is you got to tell people where to find you online, where to follow you, and how they can get your services. So whichever one you want to answer first.
Why do people stay in toxic relationships? Because people are afraid. People are afraid of being alone. People are afraid of losing people that they love. People stay in toxic relationships because that's what they're used to. That's what they saw. Right, with parents or with other people in their family, and so they think that this is what it's supposed to be. Love is supposed to hurt. Love is pain, and I disagree with that. It's not supposed to be that way.
I don't like that pain.
And we can have different kinds of pain. That's not the kind of pain.
That's not the pain.
No. It's like a pick your poison type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so people stay there, also just because of financial security. Because if maybe they leave the toxic relationship. Financially, they might not be able to survive on their own.
So it's it's like one of those, you have to sign a deal with the devil. I want to live a good life based on what I want my perception to be, even though I don't have a peace of mind. Right. So you can have peace of mind and this at the same time. I'm just telling you, man, because my circle, I'm having problems connecting with some of my brothers or some of my sisters, because I'm that space is not healthy, but you have an image to maintain. And I think that's what's fueling fun.
And for me as a therapist, I've come to a place of, and I feel going through my own life stuff, I've come to a place of understanding of why people stay in these relationships, right? Because the image aside and everything, sometimes people will find it really hard to even imagine having to reinvent themselves because they've been used to
this person
being called, Mr. and Mrs. this, Mr. and Mrs. that. And
so they have to start from scratch.
And that's scary.
No.
That
also
scary.
The other part, I think I spoke to one of my friends again, and she told me that I gave 8 years of my youth to this person. Right. So who I am right now is not who was marketable 8 years ago. No. So when I know I'm going back to the market, I'm working with the negative. Right. I'm not coming in with I can get anybody. I'm so am I going to trust another?
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. See, a sister like that needs to work on her self-esteem because she's still marketable.
Oh.
Because you're like fine wine. Right? There's wine, listen, right? There's wine that can be served today, right? But if you keep it in the barrel for another 40 years,
age
it, and guess what? You taste better, you're more experienced,
mature,
and you are even more expensive. The price is high.
Yesterday's
price is not today's price.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
So someone like that would need to work on their self-esteem, because if they came and talked to me about that, I would tell them this has to do with your self-esteem and who are you right now and how can you love the woman that you are right now. Yes, you've given this person 8 years of your life, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Yes, and that 8 years taught you something.
That was you're interning.
Right.
for your next relationship.
Right. So you need to come out of this with some lessons. What have you learned? And what are you going to make sure that you don't repeat?
Yeah.
Right. Because you're so marketable. You have the experience. It's like having a resume, right?
Yeah.
Because like I've worked 8 years at Boeing, and I'm trying to go to like Microsoft. Like, they're gonna look at that and be like,
upgrading.
okay. You see what I'm saying?
What do you do? What does it look like? Ladies and gentlemen, I got my sister Phoebe over here. Yeah. We are telling you, go to therapy.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. Your time is not our what.
Yeah.
And remember, we age like fine wine.
We sure do.
It goes up and up. Thank you again for tuning in for Creative Hustle Podcast. Thank you, sis, for pulling up again. Absolutely. I'll put you again next time. So another show, because I think my people need this. You're like a refreshing, like bag of, like a bag of ice in summer. Like, it's just summer, you put in lemonade, it's a refreshing bag of lemonade.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for having
you guys, reach out. I'm going to tag her. Yeah. Reach out for any questions.
Yes.
Book your next therapy session. You don't know if you need it, because without her, I would have not had this show, no. Oh, no, me, no. I would have been broken, no. She called me there, gave me juice, told me, Dubai, get some water. I was there breaking up. But today, I'm here with you, sharing you the process of who I am today. So thank you again, Phoebe, sis. Thank you again, Phoebe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What's your parting shot? Give him something. Give him something.
If you're looking for a therapist, right, and you don't know where to look, you can actually start off with a quick Google search, just saying therapist near me or mental health services near me. And it will pull up some therapists or clinicians. If you're looking specifically for like a Black or brown global majority therapist, I don't like to use the term BIPOC because it's so limiting.
It's so limiting, yeah.
It's so American also.
I feel that,
but multicultural counselors of color is a good website to find folks here in Washington. You can also look on Therapy Den, Therapy for Black Girls, Therapy for Black Men, Melanin and Mental Health.
Melanin and Mental Health. Right.
There's a lot of different directories. DMHS.us. And even on the Washington Therapy Fund website, I think it's 𝐴𝐓𝐇hRP.org. You can just search it. And even by my practice too, you can find some clinicians there who are accepting clients. 253therapy.com. And you can follow us on Instagram. You can also follow me at Phebe Brako-LMFT. And we out here in these streets. We're trying to get us to go to therapy. So let's go. You can do it.
You can do it, ladies and gentlemen. You can get yourself some therapy. You can feel good about yourself, elevate your self-confidence, and that's what we do here at Creative Hustle. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.